Hi, welcome to another all-access look here at the Hackley and Hume Historic Site. Today we are on the second floor of the City Barn where the offices are held in the break room, and then on the other side of the barn are some exhibits. But today I wanted to share a little bit with all of you kind of what we do up here in the office space. So many people are really surprised that we have two people that work full-time in the office year-round since we're only open seasonally. So some of the things that we work on are programs for the upcoming year, also preservation and restoration projects that need to be accomplished. But one of the biggest things that consumes our daily life is more research about Charles Hackley and Thomas Hume. So I want to show you a little bit about the research library, what it contains, and how we get some of the information that we share with you. So right outside the office space and between the offices is a reference library. We have many books that contain information about the Victorian era, about lumbering, about Victorian furniture, and kind of about that culture. So we use a lot of these, a lot of architecture books as well. So we use a lot of these for our programs to learn more about the furniture in the houses, what the Victorian people, kind of what they did, what their life was like, some of the jobs that they did, and just to give a better, well-rounded look at the Victorian era. This case here holds a lot of different things that are really useful to us. Some of the things here are Sears catalogs from the years that the Hackleys or Humes lived in the houses, so that we can price check, we can look at what things would have looked like in that time period. So those are really helpful. We use those as resources quite often. And some of the cool pieces are these different binders with pictures of restoration from the houses. So let's open one up and take a look. So this binder in particular is from the Hackley interior restoration in the house. So you can see this is the hall tree in the Hackley House, and behind it is a tapestry that covered the walls basically from floor to ceiling in all the main rooms. So you can see a sample of that in our bare bones room when you take a tour. So some of these are black and white pictures of kind of like the before. So this is really before all that paint analysis was done, and they just have all these really great pictures of what the rooms originally looked like before the restoration took place, or during bits and pieces of that. Another thing that's really interesting and really useful for us is when there's a description on the back of which room it is, what year it was taken, the picture was taken in. That's always very helpful for us. Sometimes we don't have that on the back of pictures, and there's very little documentation, so sometimes we have to make some guesses based on other documentation, which can be a little bit harder. Another great resource that we use are in these file cabinets. So we have a whole Hackley file cabinet, Hume file cabinet, and then kind of a blended Hackley and Hume file cabinet that also contains fire barn, DEH, Depression era house items. And then in this cabinet is some of the blotter books, financial papers, letters and correspondence and receipts. So this is not the entire collection of the Hackley and Hume papers or collection. Actually, the original collection is at Michigan State Archives. That was all donated by one of the Hume descendants, and that's where that is completely housed. We do have some scans of those originals and other things that we've found or belongs to this site. And some of those original things are in our archive. So this is really just a reference library for us that we can use to find out more information about the Hackleys and Humes. Finally, from there, we have another cabinet area or shelf area with some of these binders, some of the work that's already been done from the houses. And one is this red and white binder right here, the Furhoff report. And this is the paint analysis that was done in the house in the 1990s. So we know how many colors there were in the interior of the Hackley house, and we know what those colors were. We know what the
stenciling pattern was, and that is really helpful for us today as we can make sure that the house looks as original as the day that it was built.
We hope you enjoyed this all-access look at the resource area or the research area of the City Barn. Feel free to continue watching the videos each Friday night at 7 o'clock on Facebook and on Instagram. Leave any questions that you have below and we'd be happy to answer those. Also follow us at hackleyandhume.org. Thanks!